It's time for an update on the case study. I'm going to show you some analytics data, of course, Search Console, and we are of course going to talk about money.
And if you prefer to read, there's a link in the description to the written version of this case study.
As you can see, the traffic has been quite steady on the website. Even though I get fewer clicks, we'll look at that when we get to Search Console. It's about 626. I've added a couple of articles to the website this month, but they haven't had time to rank, so it's not very surprising. In here, it's about 62 articles ranking, so with a bit of math, they get around 100 page views each every month. It's not all equal, but it is quite decent traffic data, and at this time there is some good indications whether this has been a good selection of niches or not. If you haven't looked at my video on how I select niches, you can go and watch that as well, of course. But at this time we are getting some feedback whether we've chosen right or not. So if we look at traffic sources, I would like most of the traffic to come from the US. Canada is also good and Europe is also good, not because I prefer those countries, but because they earn the most ad revenue. And if you look at the percentages here, it's around 80%, so that's quite good. If you look at where the traffic are coming from, it's actually only 40% that comes from Google search. Most of this comes from Bing and DuckDuckGo, which is the same thing, I guess. And this tells me something about the demographics. So I don't know any people who actually uses Bing because they have chosen to. And I think it's because it's built in some devices and people haven't taken the time or don't know or don't care how to change that. If we zoom out a little bit, we can look at the traffic data from the beginning. January is where I started this case study and where I started this site. And here in September we were at 626, and that is a fairly good increase. I was talking in last month's video about maybe this could be the start of a hockey stick, because this trend line was actually trending a bit up. It's not yet anyway. It's fairly steady. There is a sort of a spike here, but as I've talked about, this is me visiting the site, adding a lot of articles prior to the 1st of May, where everything was published all at once. I did this because I wanted all the articles to get indexed sort of at the same time, so I could make a fair comparison. I used different keyword research methods, and I want to compare these methods up against each other, and with having all the articles indexed sort of the same time, it's going to be a more fair comparison. So I'm still collecting data, and I would like to have at least 6, 7, 8 months for these articles to mature and to rank. But if you're interested in the data coming out of evaluation of keyword research methods, you should of course subscribe to this channel. There is videos coming out on that in the near future. So we have to get used to not using Google Analytics as it is now. Next summer we are going to be forced to use Google Analytics 4. So I thought we might as well take Google Analytics 4 into account here as well. I've added the tracking code, and I've shown you this on a video here on the channel as well. How I do that without using Tag Manager, because I think that is cumbersome. It counts 630 page views. I haven't figured out how to change the language on this, so some of this is still in Danish, sorry for that. But this means page views. And there's 630 page views. The blue line is the month prior. And this is the same trend line that we have in Universal Google Analytics. So we are going to look at this going forward, and there's room to add some more data graphs here. And if you have any ideas on what kind of data is interesting for you to look at, please let me know and I will add them in here for the next videos. Let's also have a look at Search Console. So there's impressions. There is a dip here in impressions around mid-September. Whether that corresponds with an update, I'm not completely sure. I don't really care anyway, because the traffic is still going up. Maybe not as hockey stick growth as I would like it to be, but it's not affecting me too much at this time, or it could be a reporting error. But at this time it looks like it's on a downtrend if we only look at the last month or so. I'm not too worried about that, and as I said, I haven't added too much content to the site, so this is hopefully not a problem. I have another website I haven't talked too much about here on the channel before. I haven't used it for a case study. It's one of my main website, and it was looking good. I was adding content to it in the beginning of this year and last year, and it was peaking around almost 20,000 page views, and I was pretty satisfied with myself, my work at this time. It started dipping before the May core update. The May core update has something to do with it. I've talked about me installing spam on my website. This is also an explanation why this is dipping, but it's trending down, and I am going to do some updating on this site, and I will be talking about why I do updates, and I will be showing you whether these updates is affecting the traffic on the site or not. People are talking about if there has been an update, if you should do anything about it, and if so, what you should do. And sort of the sensible advice is to do nothing, just wait and see. But I'm not going to wait and see with this website. So I will show you how I update this site, why I've selected the things I have to update, and afterwards I'm going to show you whether that's made a difference for this website or not. So also, if you're interested in that sort of stuff, subscribing to this channel is a good idea, of course. Let's look at some money for not for this website, but for the case study website. So the earnings is a bit down. It's only just around $6 here in September. So it's not a huge income, but it's not good to see the traffic dipping. The EPMV, meaning how much I earn per 1,000 page views, is fairly good. So this is an average made out of these 630 page views. So it's actually not dividing down, it's multiplying up to get that value. So until we have over 1,000 page views a month, I wouldn't put too much emphasis on this value, but it's not under $10 as it is for some of my Danish websites. So I'm pretty satisfied, not over the moon satisfied, but it's okay. And it is nice to see that there is some earnings coming in, and it might be too early to look at what articles are generating the most revenue, but maybe if you look into the analytics here in the Ezoic dashboard, we will be able to get a sense for what kind of articles is the most interesting to add to the website going forward. But just a little over $6 as of now. The complete earnings is almost $20 for the complete lifetime of this website. And just to show you the metric here, there's 67 articles on the website. The 60 articles are the main focus on the website. The 60 articles are what I'm doing this case study on with the keyword research methods. I started the site with 2 or 3 articles, and I've been adding a couple more articles in the last month, and here in September I added, I think, 3 articles. So there's 7 more than the 60 that is the main focus on the website. And with some of the data that you can dig out in maybe in Search Console, I'm not going to show you yet here for this case study. It's too young still, but I will show you how I dig some keywords out of Search Console and how I base the next batch of content on the data I already have. So there is a couple of videos for you to watch here if you're interested in this sort of content. If you think this has been helpful, I will appreciate it if you give a thumbs up, and of course subscribe if you're interested in the data that is coming out of this. Till next time, take care.